Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, folks. Good day. Hello, everyone. Hello and hello to everyone. We just want to welcome each and every one of you today to another edition. Let's share the show as you join us. Good day. It's a good day to be alive. Yes, it is a good day to be alive. So let's share the show. I don't know. I should say Merry belated Christmas. I don't know. I've never heard that saying before. So I really don't know what to say. But let's share the show either way. Let's share the show. Let's share the show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Good day. Let's share the show.
Well.
No ball.
Yeah. Manyama, good evening, and Merry Christmas to everything. I wish you all of the best and Happy New Year in advance.
Yeah. I don't know if I should say Merry belated Christmas or
Yeah.
what. But hey, Merry Christmas. No ball.
Thank you. I wish you all the same, the best too. I wish you the same.
Yeah. Folks, let's share the show. Tickle will
Yeah.
be joining us. Mike will be joining us. We'll have Anthony Isaac Jackson also joining us here. I know he wrote a piece this morning. So we'll have him joining us. Milborn, how was it? Like I said,
Well,
like I told you behind closed door. I told you what's up with me, so I might not be yes.
yes, according to what you told me that you'll be in and out. But again, I'm here and Mom will be joining us very soon. But again, let me use the time, my brother, to say many thanks to all of our SKTV followers, our supporters, and our listeners also. Compliment of the season. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for everything. And to our donor, I think that on Tuesday, Monk and myself, we were on, and that was impromptu. So Monk said, maybe I think we got to help uh, maybe one or two person at least in giving them Christmas and so forth. But he was really interested in the story coming from Front Page Africa, where a lady from Tudi with 6 children who sell charcoal, and she was like, things are not easy, things are hard and so forth. So we were able to raise close to 300 USD. Also, but before that, also in that same article or that same story, they felt a teacher also from that same end who also teach for one of the government school. They call it I think the Freeman Public School also, and we understand that according to him or according to the story, he makes something around 7,000 Liberian dollars, which also equivalent to $38.50 USD for 31 days, or maybe if you remove Saturday and Sunday, you would say maybe for about 24 or 25 days. So again, that information, spark a lot of feelings in the hearts of our supporters, some of our supporters, and they said we shouldn't call their name and so forth. So they were able to send that amount, 300, including Monk. Yes, so we had Monk had to add it up also to $350 for the transport for us to go to where we went on yesterday. So that was so great, and we did our best when my team and myself, because first I really wanted to go there early in the morning, but unfortunately the lady that wrote the story tried all means in getting her early, but I could not. So later on, when I got in contact with her, she and myself we talked. Then later she said, "Well, maybe I'm a little bit tired of, I'm busy." And I said, "Okay." So I was able also. I said, "But who is the person?" Said, "Oh," so she said, "Oh, but somebody carried me there." So I said, "Okay." I think I have our correspondent there also, so I call Ali Sheriff. So when I call Ali said, "Oh, but maybe I'm the one that also took the people there for them to have interview with these people." So I said, "But then that's good." So that how you were able to schedule me. He said, "But then please let's do it by 3, between 3:30." I said, "All right." So we left. One of my brothers also accompanied me. We left from yeah. So, but first of all, let's welcome Monk. Monk, good.
I think Monk left. But let me say something, Melbourne. Let me say something. I might not, what I'm about to say, I might not sound as the favorite or people on the radio liking me. It might not sound like a usual thing, but I want to say it so I can be on the record and be clear about certain things. Monk, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hold on 1 second.
So, like I was saying,
Yeah.
I might not. Monk, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm all set up now.
Okay, cool. So, like I said, what I'm about to say will not sound a Liberian liking, but I want to be on the record. Today is the 26th. Me, Steve, Bibaba Bole, I don't support contributing any money to anybody in Liberia. On that, the poor suffering and the teacher suffering. I don't subscribe to that foolishness. I'm not part of it. I'm not part of it. I will not be part of it. No, I will not. This is part of enabling the people to be lazy, to not take action. You got to put Mozambique right now, they're protesting. If the woman who's selling charcoal feel that it really, or children really don't have time, let them get on the street. If the teacher feel that the government are paying him, working for the government school or whatever is happening to him, whatever, let him put the chalk down and walk out of the classroom. This foolishness needs to stop. And I will say it. I will say it. Me and Clamp and certain things.
So let me end. I think.
Please don't interrupt me. Please don't interrupt me. When you were talking, I listened to you clearly.
Let me end. At least let me end first. I know because maybe we'll be asking you questions, and that's
okay. Finish saying what you want to say.
Good.
I didn't know you were not done, but go ahead.
No, we'll finish now. Then we can come up with our own views on some of the things. But again, so Monk, let me say compliment the season. Merry Christmas and happy prosper New Year in advance.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, so I was giving update because we had to do that for our donors, for those people who've been supporting us and keep supporting the platform. So Steve, like I was saying, so we left my colleagues, myself, we went Tuli. Tuli is right here in Maserado, district number 1. So we went there and we met the first when we went. I don't know who, somebody having some noise at the back. So when we went,
Go ahead, Amok.
all right, good. So when we went, unfortunately we didn't meet the lady. According to information, she left for service, but the children were there, and her uncle were also there, or brother, or the uncle to the children. They were there. So we also met him with the children. So how we were able to inform them about the donation coming from Sktv, and we are here to give them to give it to the lady who have the 6 children. But some people say that if she's not here and we got to go because of time. So we were able to give the money to her brother in the presence of some of the children and her sister and other relatives and family members also yesterday. So that was our first stopping point, and we were also able to have some child that was 150. We gave because the money is 300, so we share it 150 each. So we gave the first 150 and to the woman with the 6 children as a Christmas gift to the Sktv family. So we left and we went to the teacher or the man also. So when we went there, unfortunately too, the same thing happened. Only his wife was home with his children. He was not home to us also. So we did the same thing. We were able to have some a brief conversation with the teacher's wife, and for sure that she said if she also teaching. So we gave her the 150 USD as a Christmas gift for her husband, and she was so happy. And she said she always follow us. So she said, "But I know you people. I know Sktv. I know Truth FM. I follow Truth FM, and so forth." So that how yesterday we were able to distribute the gift from Sktv and send most of the photos, video, I think out there to Steve and let me say Mark and Seku and the rest of you there. So far yesterday, we were able to find our way back home. We came a little bit late because of the traffic and also the highway. My brother is difficult. Our people are going through a lot, but we'll come to that. So far, now what happened yesterday, Mark? So that's an update coming from the donation that were made or the impromptu donation that were made on Tuesday for our people for the Christmas.
Okay, yeah, let her more react to it. And like I said, I'll finish my statement. More, what say you?
Suggest you go first, and then I can come later because I would just be following up with what Melbourne just said because we had this project on the eve of the Christmas, and yesterday Melbourne took upon himself to go over there, and at least he was able to execute the main reason why he went over there for. So you can go ahead, and then I come in later.
So, like I was saying, say what you want, think what you want about my statement. I could care less. I stand by it. I think we in the diaspora, we enable these people to not want to stand up for themselves. We do these things, and it's very unfortunate. It's very sad. Me, I will not partake in it. I will not be part of it. I'm part of a campaign that will empower people. I'm not part of a campaign that will spoon feed people. I'm not part of a campaign that will play the petty party or the people are suffering. No. They're not suffering. They're not suffering. The Liberian people are not suffering. They are not suffering. Nobody should tell you the Liberian people are suffering. The Liberian people are not suffering. When somebody is suffering for they know what kind of action to take. They know what they need to do. They're not suffering. They're not suffering. I can tell you that they're not suffering. They're not suffering because you get Joseph Boaka going to Lofa County and encouraging government officials to steal and be corrupt. But they might use the money to. I heard Monk the other time I watched a show on YouTube. I heard Monk and the other guys talking about how the government where the strategy is to keep the people poor and suffering so that they can be able to control them. The people not suffering and the people love this lifestyle. Like I said, me, the day you're doing nothing, I will leave the show. I will not be on the show. I will walk away. I'm not part of that foolishness. It's a waste of time. It's enabling these people to be lazy. It's enabling these people to now hold the criminal and the crooks accountable. Joseph Boakai just said it. And I see them passing around executive mansion trying to spin it. And I know they can call it that a new thing in Ghana when they lie and they say, oh, you spin. I'm not part of that venture. I'm not part of that. I don't want to be part of that. I will never be part of that. This mentality that we got in Labrador, we got to be begging, and other people enjoying your resources, and you want to constrain. And let me say this to the people in the diaspora, I blame you too. You don't contribute faster to that foolish venture. When you told the people then to now vote the criminals and these crooks, they went and voted any excuses on the scene land, any attack or any that means we're going to sit down and waste my time to say I'm raising money to go get to somebody to say the person suffering. You're not suffering yet. You are not suffering. And I stand by what I said. I mean what I say. We must teach these people sense. We must let them know that when you make choices in life and decisions, there are consequences to it. And they must live by it. They must live by it. Because repeatedly they have done it. You know what I mean to give your life to somebody for 24 years. And the person just stealing from you, stealing from your children, stealing from your great-grandchildren, or whatever it is. Do you know what that means? They're circulating the entire life between United Party and CDC, who are doing the same thing. The level of redundancy is too much. And I also sit and say, I'm supposed to support any kind of venture that will go collect bag of rest. Okay, so if you're eating the bag of rest now for the Christmas, what is happening now? What's next? Anyway, still I wait for 6 years? Or they're going to wait for the next Christmas or 26? That me and who can be in that cycle? Me and who can be in that thing? And I'm not part of that. I won't be clear on the record. And I want to say on this public platform, those of you in the diaspora who are doing that, you are enabling these people to continue to live like they and make the choices they're making. We'll continue to enable it. We speak against back arrest politics. We speak against people giving people things to vote for them. But we are enabling them. We'll come out, we'll complain here again. We might not complain when these people get addicted to the back arrest. When time for election, they get them back already, go and vote the way they're voting. Because we've been sustaining it. Now there is no voting now. We don't want sustaining this behavior. We need to change this behavior, folks. We must change this behavior. And the way to change this behavior, we must stand up. We must oppose it. We must not support it in any way, shape, or form. Let me tell you something. The people will not die. If they can sit down there, the people loot their coffers for years and then do nothing, then stand up, they will never die. Trust me, they will not die. The people in Labrador are not dying. In fact, they are chilling, they're living better than you. They're not dying. Don't waste your time. Don't encourage this. We're on a bad road. We're on a bad venture. Me personally, if we go to vote, to not collect money here to give to anybody or to back, that who's will be responsible for your Christmas. Your president pass around and make a reckless statement and say the politicians should steal from you so that they can benefit you. The same statement McGill made. And you tell me as well sit on the platform and say, oh, yeah, they collect money. And yeah, the people suffering. And the people like this. And the people like that. Those people are not suffering. They are clapping for those people who are stealing for them. They're clapping for those people who they make excuses. They call here, the children, they call here, whatever it is. So I am begging you, my people in the diaspora, let's desist from this. The day they put us start standing up, then we can support them. But until they are complacent, they themselves, and we are making the complacency we are enabling the complacency. This is my point. So again, I disagree with that. I don't care who, like I said, you can cry, it may even go cry to Joseph Boakai house. I don't suppose that, not everybody voted for Joseph Boakai, whatever. Let me tell you something. Let me just say this. This will be my last statement on this. When the majority vote, whether it is good or bad, it reflects on the entire nation. Before the results could come up, there were people, the people that voted are less than the people that never voted, according to statistics in Liberia. So that means those who claim that they never voted for Joseph Boakai, I will say to you, if you never stood up for your right and you never spoke out, you are on your own. You voted for him, evidently. All of us voted for Joseph Boakai. All of us are corporate. Let me tell you today, Joseph Boakai, all of our president, whether you like it or not. The same way how Donald Trump are all president in the country, whether you like it or not. That's what politics is about. That's what democracy is about. The majority, whether it is good or it is bad, everybody's part of it. That's what I want to say about this. This whole collecting money and rest and buying oil and giving money to people or whatever it is. Nah, I'm not part of that little shenanigans. Nah, and I don't encourage it. Mom, what say you before we move on, bro?
Well, you see, that's the beauty of having diversity of thought. That's your position. We started a conversation yesterday about the essence of Christmas. Even in industrialized nations that are doing far better, still people stretch their hands and for a humanitarian gesture. So for me, I got a whole different approach. The reason we reached out to those two individuals because it was reported in the front page Africa, like someone was just going around and doing some random survey, telling the people how the Christmas is going. And we saw that story to be very fascinating. It was eye-catching. It was mostly I don't know what kind of adjective to use, but I think it was appealing to people. And Melbourne myself just came out the idea and said, gentlemen, like we are not here to support Liberia. We are here to play our role as media practitioners, talk show hosts, and all that. But the whole idea of the Christmas is all about giving. Even in America, hardly millionaires, they go to charity, they go to food shelf, they make donations. I cannot use the blanket assessment. For me, my whole view, if we want to do something as the diaspora, then it has to be done collectively. Because the last time I checked, there are some people that will go out there to protest. We just don't get the result that we want. And to make the assumption, like you said, there are more people that sat out, that never participated, which is the wrong way to go in politics. But the idea is, okay, if you put the politics aside, can you say that we will just sit down so silently and we cannot even say extend him to an individual because of the election outcome? I don't think so. So for me, I got a totally contrary view to that. There was a lady. For me, I know about case. I have an 80-year-old here. I know why it takes if a mother tells you that food is not even on the table for Christmas, that she not sure if her kids are going to eat. And Melbourne went there yesterday. He did some video recording. So the likes of one of our sister that is always commenting here, I was surprised. I won't say surprised, but she stood up big time. She sent me $150. There was another lady they called. I don't know whether she will want for me to call her name. One Hoto. Maybe I will keep it a little bit private because it gets the last name. And Maura Dukley promised $100, which will be coming tomorrow, like he said. So what I did, I just ran it off. I ran it off, gave it to Melbourne and said, Melbourne, just for those two individuals that are our way on Sktv, because we come here, we talk about politics. Yes, we want the betterment of Liberia, we want for the country to do great. But at the end of the day, it takes a process. The question is, which side are we going to be on? We understand that they have to take responsibility. There are 5 million people in Liberia. So if Sktv would just reach out to two individuals, that our way of saying Merry Christmas, I don't think it has anything to do with politics. So the political aspect is different. People will have their own take. That's why I keep saying. Matter of fact, there were people that even said, that kind of a trigger of protest that even undermine their own protest. And these are some of the many reasons that people would decide to set out in an election. They think that some of the best and some of the brightest and people that they have high self-esteem for, they were given public offices. Why we never they have a direct loan? So in this case, I don't think we can make a blanket assessment to say, oh, because the election outcome, it turned out this way, we can just turn our back on almost everybody in Liberia. I don't think that was a smart way to go. So for me, I understand your point. Sometimes people, it can be more frustrating and it's a national issue. I don't think it's an individual thing, but this whole idea that we can just tie our, whether it's goodwill gesture or contribution or whatsoever it is, to the political outcome. And one of the persons that have been preaching about this is Mr. Kane. Mr. Kane been saying this as well. The idea that we can just throw in the towel and feel that nothing can come for the country. Oh, we never got the result that we wanted, that we pray for. So at the end of the day, we can just say, okay, Liberia is done and we can just forget about it totally. I think we can still do this thing in the most smarter way. If we want to put a pressure, an economic pressure campaign on people back home, then it needs to be done on a holistic approach rather than just maybe what happened. Like, okay, let Mr. Kanye, let's say maybe Christmas is coming or the Ramadan is coming, and he want to send his nephew and niece. The last time I saw them eating pizza in Guinea, like he filled the whole table. Like, I don't know if you guys going to finish that pizza by the end of the day, but guess what? You cannot make the assumption that because of the political outcome, it would dictate how we end up reaching out to individual on an individual basis. I don't know about that. That's my take, though, even though I agree with some of the point that you made. Mr. Conan, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Mark. Just before Mr. Conan comes in, folks, let me just make this short statement just for 30 seconds. Monk, my statement has nothing to do with politics. I think we have reached the point wherein I believe we're more of an enabler. Guess what? I had 20 women that cry, 20 women that older than that person, that were in front page Africa newspaper that cry in my inbox. They don't have no food on the table. Does that mean that we'll sit down and collect money for all of them individually too? No, we can't do that. You know the thing where you can't end, don't start it. If we must approach this thing, there has to be a start. And there has to be a stand. I'm saying, I'm totally, especially season time, people coming to the one big day coming, oh, no food, no, they want no that one. That's not how you been living before the season. What ain't going on? Okay, if you ain't eating today, now what next? You eat a 150, now what ain't going on? What next? I'm saying, what are you, part of a political party or whatever it is? Liberians are not suffering. Let's leave that story then. Liberians are suffering. They are not suffering. They are content with the leadership. They are content with the government. They are content with the country. They let how the country go on. So they're not suffering. Forget about that noise. The people will be in the street clapping for politicians and very soon in prison. That's all I want to say. Mr. Kana, go ahead, please. Welcome to the show. And Merry belated Christmas.
Anyway, Merry Christmas to everybody. And we're hoping to have a very promising and prosperous new year. And I think Sktv is doing great. And whether you agree with the gesture or not, to some people it's a good thing. To some people it's making people lazy. It's even in this country. We're not going to agree. In America here, the government gave people who are struggling, government helped them.
Yep.
Some of them, they call them lazy. Some people call them, no, they deserve it. Some people say they deserve it. For example, women in this country that are, that have kids and they don't have husband on paper, the government gave them, a lot of subsidies. Government give them food, push them, give some of them cash assistance, and they give them housing assistance.
Yep.
Low income housing. Steve, I have this very important call. Let me respond to this one.
Yeah, well, you can't be in your talk. Yeah, so folks, we'll keep on the conversation when Siku comes back. But I like the trend that Siku was already going on. Government. Government. Hold on, you talk. I beg you. Government provide subsidies. Government step in to help the people. I'm not saying billionaires and millionaires can provide charitable givings. Normally, they go to charitable institutions to do these things. I hear somebody saying, oh, they get food assistance. Yeah, you get food assistance. Where you get it from? Through individual, a government. Government sponsor these things. That's the role of government. And that's the approach we should be talking about. And that's what I am talking about. I'm not talking about, you won't see me as being mean or being bad or being evil or whatever. I don't care. Until we can graduate from this mentality, we are stuck and we are enabling this. I stand by. Look, I know what I've seen. I know what I've heard. I live in Liberia too. I live in refugee camp. I live in refugee camp. I know what it is. I know what it means for people to not have food for their children. I know what it means. I'm not speaking like somebody who born with silver spoon in the mouth. No, I'm not speaking like that. I'm speaking like a Liberian who knows what's going on. But if we have to change this thing, then we need to take a stand and we need to take an approach. Again, this is wrong. We need to stop. We need to divert, folks. We can't keep being complacent. Change is hard, but change got to start from somewhere. It has nothing to do with politics. When we stand up and tell our people, say, y'all hold your government accountable to provide these subsidies and these things, let them allocate the fund, it will help us. Mr. Kana, go ahead. Sorry, I was just killing time for you to come.
Yeah, so thank you. So what I was saying is that individuals or institutions can choose to do whatever you want to do. It will be criticized by some. It will be appreciated by some. But largely, when it comes to Sktv, I don't want us to have any open disagreement when it comes to what we do as an institution. If we have any qualm, let's discuss it in the back. We can come here and talk about that. When it comes to Liberia, if you ask me, our Liberians in Liberia, Liberian people in Liberia, the common people, they are enablers of the art of our government officials. They give them the chance to do it. But everything is bordered on while poverty. People are suffering, to be honest with you. Until we can be able to change the minds of many people that can lead to some actions, believe me, we still have people calling action or for help. If we can, let's help them. If we cannot, it's fine. But I would love for us to reserve our open disagreement when it comes to the action we do or our colleagues do. Let's discuss it in the back. If the way something was done, if we have some reservation will come about, we can discuss it. Maybe we can do it better next time. But I want us to look at the country as the bigger picture. Okay, we have a lot of people, we have a lot of things going on right now. Let me be honest with you. And the country is at a crossroad right now. You listen to the president in Lofa telling people, encourage you people that are engaging in corruption. It's okay to do the corruption. Just make sure you spend the money. Please spend it on the people. President is saying that. Somebody called me and told me about it. I said, no, that's not true. The president can't say that. And they sent me the link on the video. If the president is enabling and aiding and abetting corruption, what do you expect? And if we're going to honestly want the people to listen to us, let's identify with them sometimes. It's okay. Because not all the people that are involved in the corruption, not all of them. And some of the people then they are powerless. Some of them didn't even get the first $1 to go and go to Basel to go anywhere to go do anything. And before you can even go protest, if you can fool your stomach, some of the Omar and some of those children that are underage, you don't expect them to do anything. We get able-bodied men who are lazy, who are involved in corruption, stealing money from the country every day. Some of them they are strong, they have all the capacity to do whatever they want to do, but yet they are there enabling the corrupt officials of our government. But regular people, most of them, they need to be talked to, they need to be conscientized, they need to be encouraged to stand up against their government when they are proceeding badly. But yeah, I think we have a lot to discuss, especially when it comes to this government. Steve, Mong, and Melbourne, I was shocked, to be honest, to listen to the president telling the people to go corrupt, encourage you. Hey, man, if this was a different country right now, the people who call themselves lawmakers, they would have opened up an investigation for possible impeachment. Open corruption, president telling people, I encourage you to corrupt, to steal the money of the country and use it on the people. There are ways where you can help your people in the country through institutional building, through creating private sector jobs, through helping farmers, creating subsidies for farmers, people who are involved in farming, people who are involved in other different things. Government can provide subsidies for them, help them. I think we need to play that video at some point. I don't know, maybe has it.
I was just about to say that, and so people can
Play
be their own
Yes.
judges.
So I'm looking for the other one where I think somebody combined Senator McGill and that of Joseph Barker. So I think if they have it, just send it to me.
If you have that
Yeah,
one,
so-
yeah, but I don't have the one. The one I was saying is the one with the Joseph Barker himself in Lofa.
Okay. Okay.
So
just send
you
it.
know, we can play the video, but what I'm trying to say here is that those are things then that people really need to know. Because when a lot of people can tune to Sktv, they're there where they can get most of the information. Any information they can get it from anywhere else. But when they get it from Sktv, it becomes authentic to them. And most of them believe Sktv is always the first. You know, always the first to give information. Somebody say, someone we don't like your, but I can always watch your show because everything about you guys have said, everything you guys have said have come to pass, and maybe 90% or 98% of the time. I can give you all the 100% because you guys are human. Then I said, yeah, you are right. So our country is at the crossroad right now. If we had functioning legislature, if we have functioning House of Representatives, this is a room, this is an opportunity to open impeachment proceeding against the president. The president of the country is telling people to go steal. He said those who are involved, I encourage those who are involved in corruption and stealing. He added the word stealing. How will you encourage somebody to go steal as a president? That means all the stealing he been stealing, everything we talking about, he just came and solidify everything, improve it right. So maybe I'll play, let it put here, we can talk about it.
I always say, sometimes you call the people to eat, we used to eat with hand. But the person put a hand on the board ain't who handed. Who call you to eat? Who handed? We the ones should be asking you. Let's build this country. They ask everything. So we want to encourage those who want to remain corrupt and steal money, that I beg you, the money should be used to bless our people. Thank you and God bless.
Mom, man, what's the meaning of this, man?
You know, I saw that video. I played that video over 5 different times. I know people can be very careful with words because they say words have implicit and explicit meaning. And I'm not somebody who like to play into some, but I love to get the idea, the basic, the premise as to what someone is speaking on. I'm not going to take 1 or 2 sentences. The one that really got me off was the parable or the analogy he used that
Yes.
you who call someone to eat and they asking who hand is this. That one got me confused. So to make sense of the one where he's talking about spend the money on the people, that's what actually took me also. In all fairness, I'm not going to take a side in this because the parable alone confused me. Until someone can interpret that parable, then I will be able to make a rational decision on the statement that follow after. Because I even read their press release, but their politics, and I know they try to put a spin. Sometimes people can speak and they mean something different, and it all left with the same interpretation. But the one that actually got my attention was that particular analogy or parable that he used. So until someone can actually explain, because I must say I don't understand it, and I can understand that particular parable because it seems like the parable was the case and the other underlying statement or the one that followed after was to reinforce. But until I can understand the meaning of that particular someone asking who hands did, no, I don't think I'll be able to weigh in on that based on what he said.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I look at it.
Because I understand it clearly, and I will interpret the parable to you.
That's the part I want for my to interpret.
Let's hear from Steve. Steve, I don't know, for some reason your internet is shaking. It's kind of like
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, but just like the picture keep moving slowly.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
We
Because
can hear you clearly. Go ahead.
I think so too, because I'm getting late feedback from you guys. Even when you were talking, I was getting late feedback from you guys. Well, let me say this. President Joseph Boakai likes to speak in parables. And most times when people speak in parables, it is either meant to confuse the audience or to restrict the conversation to just a group of people. Because not everybody can understand parables. Even for those of us who are involved with different religions, some of the religious leaders taught in parable, spoke parables, or whatever not. I know Monk talked about the parable part of it. Monk wanted to know what that parable means. Sekou will better come to interpret that parable because Sekou been around. From my point of view, this is not a good thing. This is not a good thing. From my point of view, I believe Joseph Boakai broke down the parable for the public. Because right after the parable, that's when he talked. He literally, like Sekou said earlier, I listened to the tape, and it's very sad. It's very sad and discouraging that even when serious-minded people listen to that tape, people who want to invest, look, let me tell you something. And some people can blame the press, people that are around Joseph Boakai, because presidents should be careful with their words. Even Donald Trump, there are certain times in this country, because they understand that when presidents speak, a policy statement, people take the word seriously, people can act on it, or whatever it is. They will put him on they will script him. They will. Because presidents should not just talk loosely or so forth. Even when Donald Trump was candidate, can you imagine? They had to restrict him. And sometimes he would say, oh, but people, they sworn they would do. The reason they do that is because you can't be at that level and just say anything. The first thing I want to point out is shame on the entire United Party-led administration, the secretariat, the people who are responsible for Joseph Boakai press structuring or communication. Shame on all of them. The second thing I want to point out is Joseph Boakai has been around. He should know better. That you don't just talk like that, especially or country. Most recently, under his administration, it's reported that one of the corrupt countries on the nation, on earth, why talk about corruption and stealing and then begging these officials who are doing it to spend the money on the same people? Me, I got no interpretation for it. Joseph Boakai said what he said. The only reason why people are passing around trying to interpret it is because they know what he said was bad, was unacceptable. Because if it was acceptable, there are a lot of things Joseph Boakai now say, why don't go make extra press statement on it? So the one we heard, we thought we didn't get sense, we crazy. We just passing around looking for means to make everything political. This is not political. The president spoke. Nobody forced him to use those words. Nobody put it in his mouth. And if we agree that somebody wrote a speech for him to say it, then that means the entire government encouraging corruption. All I want to say, this is disgraceful. Is that how Joseph Boakai ends his first year? It's embarrassing, and this can scare away investors and serious-minded people who read these things in the papers, who hear about these things. It's discouraging, and let's not try to quote-unquote spin this or turn it around. We heard what we heard, and Joseph Boakai has shown that let me say the last point, Mr. Kane. Anybody who want to defend Joseph Boakai's character, you are complicit, you are enabling criminality in our country. Joseph Boakai, apart from becoming president, Joseph Boakai has demonstrated that he welcomes stealing, corruption, and he's always indirectly part of it, and he likes to benefit from it. I'll give you an example. Since Joseph Boakai became president, the reason he and Yeke Koluba fell apart was when Yeke Koluba asked, where did they get the money? Now listen, let me remind you about this. Where did they get the money? When they contributed to those people that had an accident that time. I think it was somewhere in Makibi. That the first place the North started. The second place you can know that Joseph Boakai is complacent and he welcomes corruption. He enables corruption. He creates an avenue for it so he can benefit. Is this Joseph Boakai who inauguration? A party chairman, Miata Famule, who all of them campaign for Joseph Boakai. Up until now, what is the investigative report about that money for the inauguration? What is the investigative report? Where is it? Here's another point I want to raise again on Joseph Boakai enabling corruption. Those of you who want to say Joseph Boakai, we're not talking about corruption, he's not enabling corruption. Joseph Yuma Boakai, when he took over, the representative came on the show and admitted that Joseph Yuma Boakai called them to a house and gave them a promise to give them money or give them money. The only thing that they disputed on was the amount. They never refuted that Joseph Boakai did not talk about money to give them money to induce them or whatever it is. But not only that, just look at most recent times in your own government. The 22 million for the roads. Giddings, if Joseph Boakai was a serious-minded president, by the time that Giddings should either be suspended. Let's look at the what they call boss, the revenue collection boss. What a name? What a guy name? From I think from Lofa, he somebody with integrity.
Double Jala.
And Double Jala and Amin Moda were in the same cohoot. They were working together. Amin Moda and Jagger Canada. It went through Double Jala. So what happened? What happened to Double Jala? And Double Jala there. They put pressure on Amin Moda to resign. So I'm saying, if you are not awake yet, you need to wake up. This is who Joseph Boakai is, and this is who Joseph Boakai told the world he is. We've been telling y'all, we told y'all before the election, and we will keep telling y'all. Believe it, don't believe it, it's up to you. But that is up, it's on to you, Mr. Ghanaian.
Yeah, thank you so much. More money something before I go. Okay.
I will come in later. Let me go ahead. I started with something. Go ahead first, yes.
First of all, as somebody who has little experience in IT, let's double check that video. I want to see whether there were any other clearer and cohesive recording, because some of the statements in the video, the connection is kind of confusing a little bit. The wording, some of the sentences are incomplete. So I would love to listen to a clearer, an actual recording of the whole, not just in part. The reason is very simple. If somebody say, it's very possible, where he say, those that are involved in corruption and stealing, and the statement followed by that in that tape, I encourage you, please, I encourage you to spend on the people. I'm not sure a president in his right mind will go and make those kinds of statements. Somebody can cut and add another stage. I've seen that many times. I can do a lot when it comes to, IT. Cutting people's voices and pasting, or maybe cutting video and pasting it. People know how to do it. It doesn't connect. Even listening to it, the statement is not correct. It doesn't sound like it's really, it's not. It doesn't make sense. But again, before we go there, let's talk about the parable. The parable the president talked about. Anthony Johnson, welcome. I'm saying you keep on talking, but that's why. But welcome, my brother.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I mean, you know, when the station manager is speaking, you can't interrupt him.
No problem, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So when the president said somebody call you to eat, and you that they call to eat, you are asking now who in here is this? The president is literally telling you, especially those that are part of the Unity Party Alliance, those that work in Unity Party government, those that Unity Party people enable, whether give them power or they work with to come to power or give them appointment and stuff. Those that they help, they even make them senator or representatives. Those that they give them position, they're telling you, do not checkmate them. Don't check on them. Don't ask them about corruption. Don't ask them about anything they do. For resources. They say they think here that we don't want to call you to come inside. You get a position because of us. Everything you are getting right now, through your appointment or through your election, through your position you are serving right now, you get it through us. So you can ask us. We don't want to call you to come eat, and then you ask me, oh, what we eating? It's simple. So the president is clearly saying that nobody should be, asking them. Nobody should question them. I'm still yet to actually see the video that connects all those comments, those statements, because it will be very, 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 very bad. And I believe this one requires an investigation, open investigation, to even open on, or some level of, impeachment proceeding for a president. That's why I say the video has to be authenticated.
Mr. Kane,
The video is not doctored, the video is not being there was no connection or somehow manipulated to make it sound the way. But if this is the video, if this is the actual video as it's been played, believe me.
Mr. Kane, quickly before the Anthony comes on, I understand your concern. We're working on getting the actual video. I've read the transcript of it. I didn't just listen to the actual video. I read a transcript, because listening to a video that one thing, but reading the transcript word for word, and that's why the executive mansion, if you notice them, they understand the gravity of this, even though they came to rebut the statement.
So who produced the
transcript? The exact statement.
Who produced the transcript?
Different groups of people produce a transcript from the video. Okay. Different groups of people from the original.
That's my point.
For the original video,
how authentic is that transcript? That's what I'm saying. I like to see the actual video from the recording, whole video, not part of it.
Okay, let me send a video to you, then you post it here and play it.
Exactly what is what.
Let me send a video. You will post it here so we can play. But let's welcome Anthony.
Send me the video. Send me the video. I will do some data
analysis.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Anthony. Welcome.
Well, thank you very kindly. I like to say from our end, I think it's good afternoon. It's 1 o'clock, and I'd like to greet all our listening audience. Absolutely, I want to say good afternoon. Absolutely to those following the broadcast. I'm glad to be here. From the local things, I think Mr. Boaka is now a glutton for punishment. A glutton for punishment is commonly used in the British setting to describe people who are committed to doing bad things. They just do one bad thing after another, and it is the obligation for society to punish those people. So the British people would always say, this guy is a glutton for punishment because he put too much effort and energy in doing bad things. This is where Mr. Boaka is. He is categorically a disgusting politician. the statement attributed to Mr. Boaka, no matter how somebody try to spin it, and I like the prelude provided for by Brother Siku. When he said the hand analogy, we call you to put your hand here, and then you can be asking, oh, who on the other hand? That analogy itself is troubling for democracy. Because democracy is what? It's an accountability game. That's why we have a legislative branch to hold the executive accountable. If the president is making a statement that because we invited you, because we gave you government job, you are not supposed to ask or question whether or not we're stealing, then it's disturbing. It's disturbing. He followed that statement or when he went to conclude and said, you know, those of you who want to continue stealing, if you keep stealing, you must bless the community. I found that statement very, very disturbing. The tape has not been doctored. It is clear. And so, since I'm on this public radio, I like to, what I wrote, I like to, highlight it here. Based on the statement attributed to Mr. Boaka, I am calling on the Effort Baptist Church to strip Mr. Boaka of the deacon title. Mr. Boaka is a Baptist deacon. And I think it is untenable for a Baptist deacon, because in the political realm, we can't call for a resignation now to do it. It will be a lot of effort. But for a Baptist deacon to be seen and heard promoting criminality and the facilitator of criminality in the country is bad. I think Mr. Boaka got emboldened to make this statement because it is evidence that Mr. Boaka during the just ended election campaign, Mr. Boaka benefited from a tinted generosity. He too benefited from the fact that people stole and blessed him. A classical example is Mr. Stanton Witherspoon. Mr. Stanton Witherspoon is not just an adjudicated criminal, he is a self-confessed criminal who supported the Boaka campaign. So Mr. Stanton Witherspoon stole from the American people and blessed Boaka's campaign. So you can see, Brother Seku, why I think the evidence is there to support the statement Mr. Boaka made. There's also another evidence you can put for the witness, for the consideration of our people. We bring Brother Joe Poto to put him on the witness stand. Everybody in Liberia who is involved with social activity will tell you that Mr. Joe Poto is a well-known con artist. Mr. Joe Poto, like with a Witherspoon, supported the Boaka campaign. And at the close of the campaign, as a way of giving him political reward, Mr. Boaka gave Joe Poto, a diplomatic passport and named him as one of his envoys. And Poto went to Japan and he got nabbed by the Japanese authority for trying to dupe the Japanese people. So there's sufficient evidence to support what Mr. Boaka is calling for. As we even speak, Mr. Boaka is shamelessly making business, is in bed with the bloody military junta in Guinea. For Mr. Boaka, it doesn't matter whether that military junta suspended a constituted authority. It doesn't matter whether that military junta in Guinea is raping people and violating the rest of the Guinean people. It doesn't matter whether the junta is suppressing dissent and dissenters in that country. As long as he, Boaka, can benefit 10 pickup trucks, it's okay. So the military junta can steal. If they bless him, then it's good. It's good. They must bless the society. Stealing and blessing in the same sentence is ironies of ironies. That's why I am calling on the Baptist Church to do the right thing. The Baptist Church has to move swiftly to convince people that it doesn't support what Mr. Boaka is calling for. It doesn't support immorality. It doesn't support criminality. And as such, it needs to take some action. We can go around and argue, but I can even draw what Mr. Boaka said, a bare resemblance, startling resemblance to what the notorious dictator of Africa, the infamous statement attributed to the notorious dictator on the African continent, Mobutu Sese Seko. You check Google, you check WikiLeaks, everywhere. You will see Mobutu Sese Seko quote. Mobutu Sese Seko was quoted to have told his official, you can steal and steal, but you must steal in a nice way, steal in a clever way. That's Mobutu Sese Seko. Steal in a clever way. What is he talking about? Why should our leader demonstrate some moral decadence as though they had no moral compass? Mr. Boaka is just showing to us that he has no moral compass. So I don't think, to say, oh, the tape was data. I don't think the tape was data. I think what he said is what he said. I think he even tried to explain himself when he drew the analogy with the hunting and thinking that why they stealing, we shouldn't question them. It's terrible, brother. Today, and maybe this thing people have not had letter A. If you went to Liberia now and call some of our people who listening to the radio station, they will tell you the Christmas in Liberia is almost like funeral. Why are we celebrating a Christmas and nothing to celebrate? Mr. Boaka is flying private jet. He's in bed with the junta in Guinea. Boaka needs to ask himself, what brought about the military junta in Guinea? The military junta came about because they were accusing Alpha Condé of subjecting the people to poverty. What Mr. Boaka doing? So it was not even reverse the thing. What the Boaka was in Guinea, the junta was done to him. What they did to Alpha Condé? The junta accused Alpha Condé of what? Abusing people while they're in government custody. That's one of the accusations. What did Boaka do in recent time to our friend Kalasco? While Kalasco was in government detention, people went there to torture him psychologically, to abuse him. In fact, the government was hoping that he would go in the notoriously dangerous cell where they can sodomize people, so they will sodomize him. Kalasco narration is that it was the image who said, no, you will not do this to this man because he be a good man. So the government is just doing bad from one bad thing to another bad thing to another bad thing to another bad thing. It's just doubling down. Why would the president be flying private jet when the poor people still remain in the condition they're in? It shows as though he doesn't even care. Why is the president encouraging military junta to just be in and out of our country and even taking picture from there? The president has reduced the country to basically, metaphorically speaking, licking the bloody boots of the military junta. How can you be taking gift from these people? If you read the Liberian Code of Conduct, the only reason why we had a Code of Conduct, and if you read that Code of Conduct, the Code of Conduct basically guard against government and government officials just going and taking gifts. Because the reason behind that is that gifts have corrupting influences.
But
when people take gifts, they can be compromised. So
hold on, Anthony Jackson. Let me ask you this question quickly, please. While you're going into your deliberation, let me ask you this question, because I think this is important. We overlook it. We talk about the Liberia part, but there's something you said that caught my attention. That made me to want to hold you there really quick. Let's go back to this issue of the junta, and then the president said to us. So that means the president was lying on this one, or the president was not saying the truth when he said they received, I think, 10 pickups from the junta. Let's go back to this. From a diplomatic standpoint, you've worked in diplomatic settings. There's an accusation, allegedly, that the government turned over a couple of people to the Guinean junta authority. These people were accused, quote unquote, allegedly by the Guinean authority that they were plotting against the junta government or whatever it is. Our government now following the proceedings, human rights proceedings, or to even our own laws to turn over these people to a junta government. But then on top of that, right in the same course of time, in less than 90 days, the junta government is giving you gift. From an international standpoint, What does it say to you from a human rights standpoint? What does it say to you?
It doesn't look good. It is as bad can be. And I listen to the spin doctors and the propagandists of the government trying to spin this thing and say, oh, we're trying to foster a relationship with the Guinean government. There are always being a tension with the Guinean government. And I said, we got to listen. You cannot foster a relationship with the Guinean government at the expense of promoting international human rights and refugee laws. International human rights and refugee law says that when a dissident, so to speak, when a dissenters or when a vocal critic of a government is fleeing that government as a result of not being given fair trial, you are on obligation as the host country not to turn that person over, but to rather give him political asylum when he seeks one. So our government was just wrong. Promoting relationship with Guinea doesn't entail sucking the bloodstained boots of the military junta in Guinea. No, it doesn't. In fact, many people have looked at the government receiving their gift from two perspectives. One perspective is that the military junta have given a gift as a thank you to Mr. Bouaka for illegally turning over these people who were escaping from the wrath of the military junta. You see, so the Guinean government is telling you thank you for doing the wrong thing, for violating not just Liberian law, but for violating international laws, which is also bad. The other strain of the debate is that Mr. Bouaka, by taking this gift now, he has been corrupted, and as such, he will not be tough on the abuses by the Guinean junta. He will be relaxed, he will be reluctant, and they will give the Guinean junta free access to our country. I think this is even more dangerous because, for example, somebody like Justice Janet, who is a passionate fighter for the rights of people who are fleeing the trouble in Guinea to Liberia. So if you allow the junta to have access to Liberia, Janet's life could be at risk. We know how the military regime of even Samuel K. Doe, the military junta of Samuel K. Doe, the PRC government, had it quickly transformed into death squad. And they were hunting down opposition politicians in our own country.
Thank you.
There were what? There were extrajudicial killings in Liberia when they took over. In Guinea, I saw the same thing happening there. If the government is going to give these people assets like they don't now, because we are told that there was a military jet that landed in Liberia and took Brother Sharif and others. If they're going to be giving these people assets and they will come to our country and people who are standing for the rest of those Guineans fleeing from Guinea, what becomes of those people? How do we protect the lives of people like Justice Janet? It's dangerous. So that's what I said. I started this conversation by saying to all of us, Bouaka is now becoming a glutton for punishment. We should punish him. On top of the man paying bribe money to corrupt lawmakers to move the speaker, he is here encouraging a junta to come in and out of our country. He should not be doing that. That it has to even say something about Liberia's sovereignty. Article 43 of the Liberian Constitution. Why are you bringing foreign military people coming in the country and just taking people and violating the sovereignty of Liberia without any protocol? Say, look, this is the established protocol. We're going to abide by this protocol, and by the end of the protocol, we do this. But the protocol is not above international law. International human rights and refugee laws say when people are fleeing persecution, political persecution, you can't turn it over. That's why many Liberians can even come here and go to other countries and plead for political asylum. This was an ongoing court proceeding. In the aspect of the court proceeding, the government told these people surreptitiously under the cover of darkness and send them to the junta.
Anthony Jackson, let me bring Sekou and Monk into the conversation here, because as we turn the tables here. We'll come back to you. You had a write-up this morning. We want to address that write-up. Since you are here, we want to bring it to your attention. But Monk, what say you about the same questions? The government has been accused and then the same president in the same token is saying that, the general government gave out 10 I think 10 pickups or whatever it is.
10 pickup trucks, 10 the number.
Right. So, but the same government has been accused, and they have not denied it, that they turned over a couple of people to the Gentile government, who the Gentile government accused of being opposition to them or wanting them to be, removed. What does that say to you, Monk? Is this a pay for play here? What is it? Monk, are you there? What is it?
I'm here. For me, I'm not too versed in this whole. I haven't been following the whole junta issue. We cover a couple of stories here with the guy that was at the central prison. I think the main thing I wanted to circle on was the whole thing about the so-called analogy or the parable that Sekou decoded. Because for me, like I said, I don't take soundbite because people got different style of presentation. Sometimes when people are speaking in a public gathering, they give you premises before they can come up with their conclusion or their facts. Some people will give you the facts first, then they build the case as to how they establish their particular theory on the subject matter. But from what Sekou explained, the reason why I'm very careful when it comes to this kind of thing, because people, once you're in public space, people will comb your words. And I know someone who became a victim of that. It happened twice. I remember the conversation between Mr. Cummins and Mama, the late Mama Didi Akide, when he said there was something that I struggled with or lifestyle that I struggled with, and I know how people interpreted it. And the second time it happened, Mr. Cummins, he made an analogy. He was referencing this guy they call Simon Sinek. He's a New York Times bestseller. He wrote a book they call Leaders Eat Last. You know how the Liberian people interpreted Mr. Cummins' statement? For me, I knew what he was saying. When he said leaders eat last, it means people who are selfless, who put their employees first, who put their people first. But in Liberia, it was interpreted as, let Mr. Cummins mean so he just lied or he not clean. So he telling others, when he become president in the end, then he will steal, but he will not be the one to steal first. So when people make statements, especially when it's in the soundbite, I don't want to watch 25-second or 30-second statement. I love to listen to what they were saying, the analogy they were making, and how they came up to that conclusion. But from what Mr. Conner actually decoded about the hand, I think then I can make sense of what he was actually trying to say. And maybe that's the reason they're trying to put a spin on it, because that particular parable, I don't want to lie to you. I hate elaborating on things I have no idea about. For me, I love my fact if I can come up with opinion. If I can establish the fact, then I don't like to weigh in on it. But what Mr. Conner said, if exactly what he meant, then the second statement justify the whole issue of the hand, because I just understood why you putting your hand in the boat, you asking who hands in the boat. I just understood that what he actually meant. So then it means he just qualified the succeeding sentences or statement that he made after that. That's just why it is. Yep. Ali, I got a clear understanding.
Question before we go back to Isaac.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, Joseph Boakai is an old man, and let me make this clear to people who don't know. Most of the defenders of Joseph Boakai, they have no connection with him. They haven't talked to him in person. They haven't seen him. They have no connection with him. Steve, you are aware, Joseph Boakai and myself, before he became president, we were very, very cool. We had a lot of text messages, phone calls, and most of the people are aware. Some of them are even aware when they took the paper phone from him. Some of the conversation that they saw that Sekou is privileged to this information, they were shocked. Some of them hated me for that. But, I mean, it is what it is, right? Some of those privileged information, I can't share them. But I know very well, we have no hate for Joseph Boakai as a person. Even Anthony Joshua was speaking. Politically, he disagreed with him, he disagreed with his politics, but I don't think he hated him as a person. But supporters and fans are the ones that can create problems, because they always want to say something to aggravate you. They always want to defend anything and everything as long as it's about their person. So even you are the best person, right now, everything we'll say today, they're going to hate you. They're going to put bad name on you. They're going to put all kind of labels on you. But at the end of the day you switch, you start singing for Joseph Boakai, you become the best man on the planet. That's who they are. That's how Liberian people mentality works. But when it comes to the Guinean thing, Steve, let me tell you this. Joseph Boakai is afraid. Before that whole Club PV thing happened before they turned over the guy who was at the central prison. All of those things happened. There were some other security guys, including some military personnel, were already visiting Guinea. So Joseph Boakai people got the intel that it looks like those guys, they trying to do what happened in Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and Chad. And Gabon. So Joseph Boakai now try to be friendly with them, because we don't got in here that there were people, there were recruitment done in Lofa. That Club PV was in Liberia. Club PV is a former general. He was the head of the military, military leaders, controlling the executive mansion under Dadish. He was a general, and he was arrested and locked up for several years. During their proceeding, he ran away. I mean, his son, who was in the military, also came. They broke the jail. They escaped with several of them. Some of them were scared. They went and reported themselves back to the government. And Club PV, his son, and so many other military people from the forest region, particularly from the Loma-speaking tribe, they ran away. They went to Masantan, Guinea, and they crossed into Lofa. And Club PV was there. When we reported it here on Sktv. But by that time, the Guinean government heard that some Liberians too in Liberia informed the Guinean government officials that the president here is training rebel to go and unseat you guys. So when they heard that, they fired the pole behind and they tried the issue against Joseph Boakai. That led to the arrest of Club PV. And so many other people were turned over to the Guinean government overnight. You people don't know that. But the one that was arrested, the one that was captured, in the middle of the night from the central prison, that's the one that everybody got aware of. And one of the people that they turned over to the Guinean government, they were executed. Yep. So the guy, because Kabina Jane, Councilor Jane spoke about the guy who was in prison, Sharif, that's the one many people got to know about. So Joseph Boakai fighting to do everything to make sure to be in good book with those guys, the Guinean government. Thereby, isolating the ECOWAS. Because ECOWAS is not with those guys. Now, those guys, they are forming their own alliances between Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea.
But I think ECOWAS, Joseph Boakai running to for meeting and other things.
Now I'm telling you now. So Joseph Boakai, you want to get it both ways. Joseph Boakai want to get it both ways. And the people now, some people already send information to ECOWAS that Joseph Boakai government went, against the international norms by turning over a political prisoner or somebody who ran away from persecution, that he took the person and hand them over to murderers, and they murdered the guy. The international community got that information. ECOWAS got that information. Now, Joseph Boakai does not know how to navigate with this thing right now. They are afraid of any revenge from the Guinean government for harboring their enemy. At the same time, trying to turn anybody over to them just to be in a good boat with them. So what happening now? The card that they're receiving now, the guy is telling them, there's not one person over there. There's not one person running away to go in that place. Because the project was broken. And when that project was broken into, some people died. In Conakry, even one of the big area where they store, petroleum, it caught a fire. They sent bomb in that place. It was not a small thing. It was like a movie. If you see the video, if you saw that video, it's like a movie in daylight. Look, I came broke into the jail early morning. So they live battling each other until daybreak. But many of them were able to escape. Some of them who stood up to fight, most of them got murdered. But then the one that ran away, they went to Liberia, and the one in Joseph Barker in government, and the other guy they call over there, the immigration chief, what is he? Chief Zago was also implicated in the process, and some other leaders of Lupa from Joseph Barker government. Joseph Barker was aware. And on the show here, when we asked Musa Hassan Belete to confirm or deny the information, he said he didn't want to talk about it because of national security. On that show, during that day when we were on the show here, 3 lawmakers called and confirmed that yes, it is true, including the late Prince Johnson. If you are aware of that.
Yep.
2 senators, 2 representatives called here and confirmed that yes, indeed, there were people in Liberia and that the president was aware of it.
Yeah.
So it's tough. So
Right.
Joseph Barker and your government, they're making themselves unpopular not only with ECOWAS, but getting in bed with the junta government in Liberia, in Guinea. It's something that the international community is not taking lightly. I know that.
Okay. Well, tomorrow.
Let me say something.
I come to you, Anthony Jackson. Tomorrow we'll spend more time on this particular conversation because we'd like for Sekou to give us more in-depth, information and provide context to some of these things, right? But before we go to the lines, because we want to open the line early to react, to hear the people react. But before we go to the line, Anthony Jackson, you wrote something. You can, in your response, you can react to what Sekou said and what the rest of the say here. But quickly, in your response, you wrote something here, and this is directly, someone might say you are directly targeting Gafwa, who is the current finance minister. What is this all about? What's going on? The celebration of this new.
Before I get to that, let me acknowledge the in-depth knowledge that my friend Sekou had, and he's provided us. If you listen to Sekou carefully, he said the Bouaka government got afraid because of the threat that some elements of the Guinean junta was issuing. I don't think our government should surrender or cow to threat. I think it is disgraceful that Mr. Bouaka has not been able to demonstrate that he has the backbone and he respects the rule of law. Bouaka have already had an easy way out of this matter, which he threw away. The matter that brought this thing to public attention, he's been surreptitiously sending people to Guinea outside of the ECOWAS protocol and the international human rights law. He's been doing that. But the one that brought this thing to the public attention was the one with Sharif. Now, any serious government who has danced the diplomatic dance by saying, look, this thing is now before our court. My hands are tied. I can't get involved as the executive. Let's see what the court will do. Bouaka could have made all of those arguments, and there would be sensible argument. To say, look, he ran away, we're trying to do something. Now the court is involved. I can't disregard the court. And this brings us to the thing about the Bouaka administration that is typified. This Bouaka administration has consistently demonstrated it doesn't respect the rule of law. When you listen to him, the cabinet say, oh, let's respect the rule of law. What respect are you showing to the rule of law when a guy who is on a court proceeding disappeared from government detention in the arms of a bloody junta? What rule of law? So Bouaka is a living and a walking contradiction. You talk about developing a country, you cannot develop any country in the absence of respecting the law of the land. So everything Bouaka has been saying is a charade. Now, on the issues of what I wrote this morning, I wrote that post on a post made by Matthew Yemplu. The Minister of Finance is engaging in what I would call self-promotion. It's dangerously disgraceful. it was made public by Matthew Yemplu that the government got these, I use some strong words on them, brainless brigade member of the Unity Party that would just call on radio talk shows. The government paid them every now and then, and they just flood the talk shows and say things positive about the government. Julia Jack of OKFN, a well-intentioned brother, did a impromptu call in on his show. And 3 people, I'm told 3 people called and they said they voted Gafwan as the Minister of the Year. That 3 people who called, who we want to believe are some of the sponsor people from the Unity Party Brigade, that Gafwan spent money to pay to do the propaganda work. Gafwan seized on that and wrote a post. Imagine the Minister of Finance, who I think is supposed to be taking his job very, very seriously, especially owing to the state of the present economy in Liberia. Took time off his basic schedule to write a whole big post acknowledging that few people call on OKFN and announcing a Minister of the Year. I said, but this is disingenuous. These people, as per the report we have, they are paid government callers. These are sponsor callers. Why are you trying to deceive? I think advocacy in Liberia should be strengthened, because we need to strengthen our advocacy so that we can show light on these schemes. This is the complete scheme. Gafwan and other people trying to scam the Liberian people. In your right mind, why would Gafwan be named as Minister of the Year? What has he done? He's been at the ministry less than a year. First thing. Second thing is, Gafwan should be embarrassed by the fact that he comes from the African Development Bank. He is presiding over a budget that has come to be what? Controversial. The budget was not properly scrutinized. It was not thoroughly scrutinized. Agency of the government were on public radio, on social media, saying that they never called them for budget hearing. Gafwan should be embarrassed that his budget did not meet the minimum, the barest minimum standard of what? Transparency, lack of proper deliberation of the budget. He should be embarrassed by the fact that his budget was sent to the bogus lawmaker, and I would say maybe controversial lawmaker, just to be polite. Amidst all of this, you will still come somewhere, you're not embarrassed. You want to take glory for being Minister of the Year, when in fact you, Gafwan, you are becoming an interesting ingredient in the recipe of chaos at the Capitol building.
Justin, let me ask you this before we go to the line, so we can wrap up to go to the line, so we can hear from our Liberian people. So, first of all, what benchmark did they use?
No benchmark, brother.
To come with that. And secondly, what does that mean, Minister of the Year? What is the benefit of that?
He presiding over, he presiding over an economy where the people are not even celebrating Christmas properly. He's not ashamed. He's not even embarrassed. Only the Minister of Finance people can enjoy. The vast majority of the Liberian people going to bed on empty stomach Christmas time. When you're Minister of Finance and your economy is in the toilet and your people can't even celebrate Christmas properly, you will take glory from callers and say, oh, I'm Minister of the Year, and you will read whole posts.
So Minister of
the deceive.
For doing what?
He's the best minister in the whole country now. He tried to usher his other friends who were ministers before he came. It's a desperation, right, to self-promote himself, to usher other people. I think we should not be doing that. I think that's the wrong way to use government money. You pay a group of people, they call on talk show, they say, oh, you're the Minister of the Year. No benchmark, no Sktv-Lib barometer, zero. And you call on talk show, and you're the minister, and you who the minister, which was the then you writing post. The government should be laugh at, right? We should laugh at that, brother. He writing post.
Governors will take that thing seriously, man.
I said, the man wrote whole post on Facebook. I said, the government man here, he's so desperate.
The is part of that.
He part of it because he paid the children and they call, and then he write post to support them. He said, oh, I thank God if they are Minister of the Year. I said, what is this?
Is he happy because they say he's the Minister of the Year?
Yeah, he wrote a whole Facebook post. Just go ahead and pay, you will find it. I mean, that's for me, that was appalling. I know people can.
Let me just say, you know how many people will call and call their name and go by and call him say, Chief, you hear me? I'll call.
Yeah, I call that show. I said Johnson. That's the kind of foolishness. That's the kind of foolishness he's engaging with.
Now we don't vote for you.
Yeah, Chief, I just call that show. I promoted you. Then Gaba will take 150 sponsor them. You get 200 and get rid of them.
Promoting you, Chief.
I think the Minister of Finance should be above this childish maneuver because it backfires spectacularly. Matthew Yemplo have been showing light on it. Gaffan should not be acting as though he's still in competition with Amara Kone. When Amara Kone posts something substantive, Gaffan will find something ridiculous to write to put a picture on it. You know the last time one of the things Gaffan posted? He said he had a Zoom meeting with somebody. I said, you got Zoom meeting, you're celebrating it? What was the outcome of that Zoom meeting? Look at the economy of Liberia. See where our people are. You have a president who flies in private jet when the vast majority of the people can barely find food to eat. Gaffan, you are former student activist. What is your role? What are you telling him? Are you telling him to continue to brutalize people who exercising the Article 17 right? Is Gaffan not disturbed that the police people will brutalize citizens for exercising the Article 17 right? He will still be celebrating that the budget went to a book of lawmaker.
Thank you, Attorney Jackson. Let's get to the last
It's a shame.
to react to the callers. Let's get an ample time to call. Melbourne is on you, please. Can you please help us some calls to get the Labrampo to react?
Wonderful. So
let it pay color and call. No problem. The money going to use.
He said.
Yeah, this is David King, and I do join you from my Mendocino residence.
All right, go ahead, David.
Yeah, you see, this thing is a type of parable. There's a brother spoken a clearer tone. All right? There's a brother is telling you that when you have control of the state call, you don't need for somebody to call you and say, wash your head, come, let's eat. You must eat. And for those that want to remain corrupt, they should be corrupt, and he's breaking them. He holding a four, they should be corrupt. Let it bring the money and help the people. He's not telling them that they're salary that you get, come and help the people. He said, when you see government money, come and help the people. So he giving the gold sign to all the ministers and directors to speak for the Liberian people. He got to be clear about it. I'm not sure what here.
All right, thank you so much. Today's caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. It's my account calling from.
Wonderful. Go ahead, my dear.
Yeah, well, brother, our country is dumb, more especially in the hand of President Joseph Boakai. If country people criticize everything, now he come to the spotlight, he contradicting himself almost all the time. In the world that people ran away from your country and came to your country for refuge. Why is it that you cannot protect it and what? In a sense, you have treating you are around the world.
Well, all right. I think we're not getting you too clear. 037285961. Today's caller, good evening.
Good evening. How you doing?
Well, okay. Thank God for life. Go ahead, my dear. Your name and from where you join us.
Basically, Bagdo calling from ELWA Junction this evening. Yeah, thank you so much for the topic on discussion. But I want to say to your studio guest tonight that if you actually want job, it's better than you apply to the government. Talking all the one that you're talking. So let me tell you something. This particular December 26th, this Christmas, we enjoy it. We enjoy it. We Liberian people, and we are not going to bear with hunger.
All right.
I speak to you, my very sad that yeah, I am a nurse by profession. I'm a unity party partisan. Even after election, when I went to the party headquarters,
but the nurses,
now I'm now.
Hello? Yes.
The nursing appeal.
They're on strike, bro.
When I went to the headquarters, I got a job. Up to now, I speak to you, I'm not working. But it does not mean that I should go against government. Because if the government say, it means we Liberian people will say.
All right. Thank you so much. If the government fail, that means we Liberian will fail. Today's caller, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, neighbor, President Moss, Steve, and the entire guys in the diaspora. Thank you very much for the fascinating discussion this evening. I appreciate the week cast our call for another street light. Neighbor, is quite unfortunate that President Mao will tell us that Joseph Walker used parable, right? You know, these are people that sat yesterday in America, condemned we are, and today they brought an old man that is performing below the belt. And they don't want to allude to the fact they want to shift blame. President Mao, Joseph Walker is not a presidential material. The man encouraged his minister is clear as a parable to speak. Because Joseph Walker himself, Sam Walker is the most corrupt government official that ever existed in the Israel. That's why he just getting his cabinet ministers and the director. President Mao get that clear as a parable.
All right. Thank you so much. It's not a parable. So let's call a good evening, please. 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm Isa Kamara joining from this before.
Yeah, thank you, Nandia, for joining us. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I want to say is this. I don't think that the president will mean push go and steal, but they're trying to say something, and for like people to understand. But sometimes people they can be flavor tongue. My only disappointment prior is to see Unity Partisan coming to defend a kind of a statement. It was a slip of tongue. It was a mistake. Because when you use the word encourage and also say I beg, then where is the definition there? People should not be defending. They should only say the president was a slip of tongue. Now what we expect? Never they can make mistake. But I don't think the president to ask people to go and steal which of school corruption have been affecting the country. So I don't want to urge our people that we should take the courage and think was. Now I always say you are very objective on our show. That the reason why for me I always listen to your show. You are very objective. I just encourage you to commit yourself to what you've been doing up to the time. We appreciate you so much.
All right, thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. Let me go to the international line, maybe because let me take Aki from UK, my brother. Good evening.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I joined you from my little village in UK. So I want to appreciate every one of you for the show, especially Axel Jackson. I won't say Sato Leon anyway in Guru to listening to it throughout. Yeah, but I'm a little bit disappointed in Sheikh Wemebon. We said Wemebon. But if you didn't want to discuss this, you shouldn't have brought it forth as a topic. Because you brought it forth as a topic, it's glaring at the president should have made this statement. He's trying to put a spin on it to say if it was doctor or not. If the government had not made a statement today, then you could assume. But go and read the executive mansion. The government didn't disclaim. They claimed the video, they claimed the statement that truly the president said it, but they went forward to interpret. What we should be focusing on more is the interpretation from the government. They talk about how they call the central bank governor. They say about indicting people and leaving it to go by knocking on their back and say go and see no more. What are you doing about restituting? There's so many things the president has done to prove that he nurtured corruption. Like how they call it the Sylvester Grace situation. Till now, the president can speak to it. The Miata Formula situation, his chairman was accused of taking 1,000 each from each of the chairmen. Let's talk about the 9 million that came from the 22 million rule initiative. Let's talk about the LTA situation where Abdullah Kamara mismanaged 2.5 million. The audit report says that he has not taken any action to that. So what the president was trying to say there was to re-emphasize his interest in corruption. Because he said, I want to encourage. That's the underlying word, encourage. You're looking to it.
All right. All right. Thank you.
There was no AI to it. The president truly said it. If it's wrong, let the information ministry come and provide this that video was done to.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for your participation from UK. To this caller right there in Liberia. Good evening. Hello. Please move away from the monitor. I want to get you loud and clear, please.
Something that you own, you will have to protect it. Then it show clear that you're not saying anything. So you get the rules when it comes to that revolution. So we already established that I want to go to help with this. So I have to remind you, for the country you're living. You must see, you must play very important video. Why you encouraging corruption for? Because what corruption for the country? Yeah, when my name is according to money direction.
All right, thank you so much. Today's caller, good evening. We'll take a few more calls. We'll cross over to the team. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Nebo. Jesus Emmanuel, Regis, and I joined the conversation with Senator Morovia. Look, if anybody who will listen to President Waka and you want to spin what he said, and then you say he was speaking in parable, there's something wrong with all of us. Because now, before someone play with any video, maybe if you say audio, but the video is there. The video is there. You will see the video clear. This old man who has spent 40 years in power, in government, he been around for a very long time. You know that the signal that killing Liberia is corruption. For you to even dream or think about ordering that war, and somebody say you were speaking in context. Look, everywhere President Bwaka go, he's supposed to discourage people stealing. For you to say you encourage people, you begging and encouraging them, when you tell the money, you will kind of help our people. Then you telling me that the mayor was speaking all the content. No, President Bwaka, if you're not in our country, just tell, because I know that all these days, President Bwaka looking a little bit confused. I think the problem is too much. He thought money was lying down somewhere that you can just come and take, a wrong. Our problem here is too much. I noticed that the woman want to run away, you want to cause confusion. President Bwaka, the statement you made, that statement was wrong. You encourage that Unity Party people, these people, they are people who train in stealing. 12 years people stole here, they know how to steal. You the president for you to discourage and you encourage them to steal. Look, I'm sorry for Liberia. I pray that God will take off on Unity. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Today's caller, good evening.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, man. There's your name and from where you join us.
Yeah, no, going to take one after the one, then we'll deliberate.
Okay, good.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, Sheriff.
You see one, anyway you turn one around, it will remain one. You carry all, you bring it down, it remain one. Alright? So if we look at our president over a period of time, all the places, all those things he has been doing over a period of time. Yeah, I've been showing you all that he has done either for us. If you just look at our president, brother, the CPP, look at the CPP, look at the way the CPP in there. Alright? So if you go to a place where you, because when the president is about to speak, everyone, let's be careful to hear what the president wants to say. Because anything you say there, people will start judging you. I'm not asking what you say. But you see, our brother on the green, the brother, our brother on the green, they will always come to defend things that is not right because they want for the salary a lot because they want to keep defending. At the more time, the salary will be added up. They make a mistake. They agree that he make a mistake. He make a mistake. As a president, you don't speak that way. You are a leader for the country. You don't say that way. They happy to Magay. Everybody will go and give Magay for him to speak that way. So why make it right today? It was wrong yesterday. Why make it wrong today?
All right, thank you so much. So let me cross over to Steve and the rest of the team.
Yeah, I want to respond to someone. They want to call, right? One of the caller.
Anthony Jackson, before you respond to him, but I just want you to take this in consideration. This is just a rhetorical statement. Imagine if this was President George Weah making this statement. Go ahead.
I mean, by now the entire country will be in arms. But in responding to, many of the callers basically supported everything we said, except for one of the callers who I believe is a member of the Brainless Brigade group of the Unity Party. He keeps talking about, the man, when you want joy, he must bring. Listen, I went to law school, thank God, at least not just the law school in Liberia. I went to law school in England. If you know anything about England, it is considered the knowledge industry of the world. They got very good schools. The law school I went to in England is among the first 10 best law schools in that country. All right? So, at least Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf saw my competence, for which she sent me to the United Kingdom to represent Liberia. I didn't just represent Liberia, I spoke for Liberia so well that Liberia became elected to the council. I met with the Queen, the late Queen, because of the work I did. Cleverly articulated. I'm not desperate for any job. Liberia is drifting into elected dictatorship. That's why I am concerned, and many serious people are concerned and are speaking out. If you're talking about job, who is desperate for job? It was Boakar's desperation for job that made him to threaten the peace of Liberia in Bassa. Did you listen to the speech he gave in Bassa? That if somebody cheated in the election, Liberia will end? That desperation for job. He wanted to be president at all costs. And he believed that if something had gone wrong with the election, he would put Liberia in flame or on fire. That's desperation for job. If you want to see somebody who's desperate for job, go to Boakar. Boakar violently uprooted those who are protected by tenure in our country. Why was he doing so? He was desperate to give jobs to his stooges and his cronies. It backfire. The central bank thing, the person talking about, Jana, who is a central bank? Boakar's nephew. For Boakar to violently remove Tanu, who were covered by tenure, to put his nephew there, is that any good look? Does it not show that Boakar is desperate and doesn't respect the law? And the stooges that Boakar gave tenure job to, of what benefit are they to our country? Silver 7, they gave them $150. They gave Patrick Horner a soulless stooge of Boakar. Patrick Horner is a soulless Boakar stooge. They gave him big job. A generator can take $3,000 US. Silver 7, who works when they want to work every day, right on model bar, they gave him $150. Liberia is just society. So somebody call it about, you may want job. You will call, you get job, brother. I want a better society that all of us will be employable and employed, because it is provided for in our constitution that we all should get job. We need a government that will provide a viable private sector, not a government where the president will fly private jet. You know how much for few ought to put in that private jet that coming from the Ministry of Finance that could build a school building in Sano or in Grand Gide or even in the Lofa or in Bon County? You know how much Boakar pay lawmaker bribe them? 15,000 each that we are told. You know how much 15,000 times 43 is supposed to do to hospital to bring drugs, medicine in the hospital? We're talking serious business here. You're talking about that man want job, the other person want job. Anybody who desperate for job that Boakar, who violated our constitution, our democratic constitution, violently uprooted tenure holders and gave job to his stooges. Patrick Hunter being one. A soulless stooge. He take $3,000 for a generation. I understand they take him 15,000, how much thousand again. And poor people, poor Liberian people who stood in the line to vote, they get zero. So the other thing I want to say before I conclude, and then you will come in on the Russian thing and answer the question.
Anthony Jackson, quickly, because we have about 4 more minutes on the
radio.
Okay,
4 more minutes. The other thing I want to say quickly before you conclude
on the radio, so we all want to come in.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So quickly, just to add to what Anthony Jackson just said, most of you guys listening, you're not listening with reasoning. You're not listening to the issue. You're coming with a fixed mindset just to come and distract, and insult, which is unfortunate. Some of you even saying that Seku is compromised to support compromised by Joseph Boakar's government. you must have eaten your brain. But you still have it. I don't think you would think like that. Seku is compromised by Joseph Boakar's government. Even Joseph Boakar himself will not even believe you. But you put your mindset is that nobody should be rationalizing, nobody should be reasonable, nobody should read between the lines, and nobody should have a different thought or different mindset, different thinking beyond what you believe. Between everybody should just be a group of, like group thinkers. Once one person says something, so say one, so say all. We all not like that. We all learn how to do critical thinking, critical analysis, and also read issues for what they are. Joseph Boakar's government, I'm saying, I was even emphatic, and I said, if Joseph Boakar, this statement associated with Joseph Boakar, if this statement can be authentic, I think this one is tantamount to an impeachment proceeding. I said that. An impeachment proceeding.
Yes, you said that.
If I compromise defending Joseph Boakar, I will not say that. But some of you are now watching enough to understand things.
And that's okay. What I can tell you, Joseph Boakai government, I do not expect anything than what I'm saying right now, and I'm not surprised. My problem and my disappointment continue to be with the Liberian people. The majority of Liberian people, they sit back supinely and allow these things to happen. They don't have the spine. They don't have the balls to stand up for their country. What we are doing right now, we are playing our part. We are exposing the ills. We are exposing the corrupt government officials. And we are telling you what they are doing. You just there sitting by looking for one breaking news one after another. And then when they are provided to you, you do nothing with them. We need to come here and be selective as to who is saying what, who is doing what. I'm not going to think like you. God forbid, I should never think like some of you. You have no moral. You will not go by who you support. So I just want to say that, and hopefully you will.
No, but Segu, I think you are right in thinking that there's a need for us to look at it further. I mean, we all can think the same way, you know, and that would be bad for society. The other thing I just want to say, because we're already rushing out of time, is that the Guinean junta over there, they are basically beholden to the Russian. So if you see Boakai going there, you must pay attention. It was Boakai who sent his deputy minister to meet with Sergei Lavrov, and later on, because of the pressure, he denied and put away back and said, oh, like, we're not doing business with Russia that you're thinking. We got to be careful. When he's making business with the Guinean junta or with the Russian through the Guinean junta, the American got to take judicial notice of this. This is dangerous. Boakai is playing a dangerous game that will backfire in his face. You know, I again encourage my friend Gafuan, he should desist from this self-promotion. The one he got involved with is so childish, and everybody laughing at him. Small children call on radio show and say, you the best minister of the year. You sort of ask yourself, why made me best minister of the year when my budget already controversial? Don't be jumping at it and writing Facebook posts. Minister, you got to get gravitas. You got to take yourself seriously. You don't drag yourself low because you're thinking you're in competition with Amara Kone. Amara Kone rap post, the people clapping for it, and you must wrestle too for people to clap. Stop it.
Well, why will you compete with Amara Kone? Amara Kone is senator.
Before we leave,
They have an ongoing competition in their soul, especially he Gapua. He won't compete with Amara anyhow. So he think he got a rep post too. Oh, I had Zoom meeting. What benefit is your Zoom meeting?
Maybe we'll give you the last word before we leave. I know we got limited amount of time.
You can give me last word. I'll still here begin.
Okay, hang on. Hang on.
I want his jaw to begin.
We just want to say thank you so much to all of you for your continuous support. Like someone wrote, Sunday can be good, Sunday can be bad. Sunday Unity Party Pokaye. When Sekou going after the past government, Sekou is a patriot. Sekou love the nation. Sekou love the country. When Sekou calling on CDC, then Sekou love the nation. Sekou is a patriot. And people are the demon. And Mark is the problem person. The next day, when Sekou say the truth about Unity Party, then Sekou.
But it showed that Sekou is fair man. If both sides are accusing Sekou, then he fair man.
Everybody attacking me. Everybody.
Then you fair man. Then you balance.
Today Sekou don't Liberian. Sekou don't understand the law. Sekou don't understand. He compromise.
Compromise, but Joseph Boakai government already.
That's okay.
So Yasin want to say something before we leave the radio. Maybe please give her that 1 minute.
I heard a lot of men calling. I did not hear a woman call. And we, the women in Liberia, we suffer the most. Just this past Christmas yesterday, I saw a lot of Liberian women and children standing in line. And if you're a father in Liberia and you are not tickled, you are not touched, that year after year, you elect people, they build themselves mansions, okay? They promise you a better Liberia, but you're begging on the internet, on social media, that your children are standing in line just to get food. Look in yesterday newspaper, front page Africa, a woman with 6 children. I think who you all carried it. They don't know what her children were going to eat. What 6 children? Yeah. Let me say this. And Gafuan is a brother, but shame on him. He had not even been in that position for 6 months. How in heaven is he elected or selected? How is he? that he even coming on here to advertise and stuff for people to vote for him. And I love the names that Jackson calls them, all right? Papa Black, we don't need anybody to come and interpret for us. Blacker has never been a poet. We don't need ChatGPT to interpret for us.
Not a poet.
That's what he said. The videos are out there. That's what he said. And that's exactly what he is doing. Look at his action. For the 22 million for the rehabilitation, to his inauguration, to anniversary celebration of his wife, hundreds of thousands of dollars, to his own birthday party, and then to his wife, his wife's birthday and his anniversary, okay? And flying private jets and leaving the country 11 times in 11 months when he told us if he won, nobody will leave the country for 6 months until they figure out all the people that been carrying to court. What has happened? What happened to the road funds that they spent? So everything he said is also followed by his action. So we don't need anybody to come and verify to us. We know what he said. That's exactly what he said. Thank you, Seiko.
Thank you.
Thank you. You said that's my sister, and I think she spoke in proper terms. Boy, we don't need interpretation of the interpretation. What can interpretation say when you use the parable clear?
Yeah, but and then after when I try to interpret the parable the way I understood it, and I was very clear.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. And I agree with your interpretation.
Hey, this is our government. We brought you in. This is our power. We give you some, so don't ask us. Don't question us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Brother Sekou, it is really embarrassing. You said I just brought the evidence to contradict the other caller. Now, one woman with 6 children standing in line. And he said the people celebrated the Christmas good. I think he and government slept together. Because I still believe government got everybody in Liberia enjoy Christmas. When the evidence contradicting everything they're doing, poor people can barely get food to eat.
Let me tell you something quick. I hope we can get Minister Gaffon here one day to have a conversation. I was listening to the minister one time on the network. He said something. I laughed. I was driving. I laughed so hard. I almost hit the road. The minister said they have started the idea of paying people on time. In fact, they are paying people now 10 days before the end of the month. That some people are complaining. In fact, why they getting paid too soon? Still don't laugh. Still doesn't know me. No, imagine Stanton with all his stuff. Still says, "Mr. Gafon, stop it."
They all record way overboard.
Mr. Gafon, they both complaining. You know why they getting paid so fast, so quick, so early. So those kinds of things, I don't know. I mean, those kind of things, they don't all go well. You may think you are doing a good thing, but there are a lot of people that don't just listen. They listen and they analyze the thing he says. You know, you can build credibility and you can destroy your own credibility. You know, on some of the things you say, you know, you can say on the media, whether social media, print media, or on the radio. You gotta be very, very careful. You gotta know that you're not speaking to a bunch of supporters. There are other people that don't support you.
Yeah.
There are other people that see reason. There are some other people that see beyond what you're saying. There are other people who will be there to enjoy you, and because they want you to acknowledge them, because they want you to give them money. But not everybody, you know, going to be in that category. So let's be careful what we say on radio, especially when you're a public official. Those are Barker's statement. The reason why I'm a little bit reserved to speak the way I want to, but I can't, is I got to look at the video holistically, not just a portion of the video. I want to listen to the whole, because I will put everything into context. The whole thing, you know, statement, you know, proceeding before, you know, to that statement. And afterward, because, you know, the thing is, when you are, you learn more when you're listening than when you're talking. I want to listen to that video holistically in its entirety to know exactly what it means, what he was saying, the context, you know, before and after that statement. Then I can put my own spin to it, whether for or against. But for now, what I know, for the interpretation of Joseph Boakai's comment, Joseph Boakai is telling you, you are not qualified to audit us. You are not qualified to question us. You are not qualified to talk about corruption. You want to take your own, you can take it. We call you to can take your own. So don't ask us. We don't call you to take our own to eat. Don't ask for why, who hand is this? So the law is very clear. And I think we should take it at face value. But the other part of it, the other statement that everybody carrying around, I want to listen to the whole video and see,
But Mr. Kane, what you just said before Anthony Jackson comes in, what you just said collaborates, but it also substantiates, and there's a correlation. What you just said, there is a correlation, a big correlation, because after he made that parable, then he proceeded in English now to say he's begging them, these same people, in as much that you are not going to question us because we invited you to the table. When you decide to steal, in your stealing and your corruption, I beg you.
You bless the community.
Yeah.
The thing is laughably ridiculous. I mean, there's no even end about it. For me, I think you would think I'm talking politically, but I think what Bwaka said valid. It's in line. It gel in line with everything he's done in the past. If you really earnest and look at Bwaka, for the 1 year he been in power, he can pass for a moral vacuum. Bwaka has not demonstrated any moral decency. The first thing he's been able to do with even power, he has used public power to hurt people, not to build people up. My evidence I'll put on the witness stand is Julie Andy. Julie Andy that has signed for almost all the president in the country. Because Bwaka believes Julie Andy signed for George Weah without any violation of any law. Because Liberian law say the executive law that Bwaka say he operating, that executive law say before you can scrape me of my diplomatic title or my honorary diplomatic sorry. Because the honorary diplomatic thing that was given to Andy, before you can scrape that thing, I must have done something felonious. I must have done something bad, something that is violative of the law. There's no evidence to show that Julie violated any law. But because Bwaka is vindictive, because for him, public power is supposed to hurt people, he tried to hurt a poor woman like Julie. He tried to hurt even the other lady who was at NASCA. The lady who said, but we get 10, you can move out. And he sent a group of his United Party men, including a shameless guy like Prince Moi. Prince Moi, now, I think he's the most ridiculous man in the government. He went to that place and they uprooted that lady from NASCA who was saying, we got 10 you.
Are you talking about Glasgow?
Yeah. So Bwaka has used public power to do bad things, real bad things. He has used public power to pay bribe money to remove the speaker. How is that morally justified? He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. Today he's making statement that validate what he did in time past. Witherspoon was an adjudicated criminal, a self-confessed criminal when he was actively supporting Bwaka campaign. And even after Bwaka got elected, he had a meeting with Mr. Witherspoon. So how can you say, what he said, he didn't mean it like that. He said he had benefited from people who stole before have blessed Mr. Bwaka. Witherspoon is a witness that we can use, even though now he's agreed with the government and he's saying some hard things, but he helped Mr. Bwaka while he was on a criminal indictment. Even after the verdict, he was still helping Mr. Bwaka. The evidence there to show. So Witherspoon blessed Bwaka. Joe Quanto, I've said it, he's a well-known con guy. He was associated with the Bwaka campaign. He blessed Bwaka. Bwaka gave him diplomatic passport. Mohammed Bar, the other people who he say special envoy for what investment or whatever you call it, that people who have been calling everybody in Liberia, Bwaka made envoy. So meaning those people stole before and gave to Mr. Bwaka that he benefited. Mr. Bwaka himself has been dismissed twice from public office. Twice from public office. The PRC government fired him because they said he stole money. Dr. Sawyer also fired him, but Dr. Sawyer said he fired him because one woman doing the fire him, but Dr. Sawyer is a clever man. Bwaka was already vice president. Sawyer would not have said I fired him because of corruption. But Bwaka.
Anthony Jackson, quickly, let me while we take the last minute here to close, because we're out of time.
Yeah.
Let me say this. We can say Sawyer was a clever man or whatever it is. But that speaks to the judgment of the Sawyer man himself. That one random woman can just wake up.
But Sawyer, they're trying to explain things, man. I respect the woman.
Then Sawyer makes himself not credible.
No. Let me say this. Let me say what Sawyer was doing. Sawyer is an elderly statesman. He was trying to explain things away because Bouaka was already vice president. He can go, do all of that thing. He was on good governance commission. He can be doing, but all that we're saying here is that Mr. Bouaka has been dismissed twice from public office. One was clearly for corruption. The other one was controversial, but let's say he was dismissed for corruption from the PRC government. So he doesn't have much, on his belt to say, look, I have been a credible guy all along. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have that to be proud of.
And you say,
especially when he interacted with almost all the people who stole, he would dance with devil, and all of that stuff. So he's never made any real moral argument.
Before we leave, you work closely with Joseph Yuma Bouaka and probably have sat in meetings with him and so forth and all of that. You say, where does he originate from?
No, I work with Bouaka and I really never thought he would have done anything better. That's why my first choice was Mr. Cummings. And then I believe that considering the relatively youthful energy of Mr. Weah, when given the second chance, he would have made amends. He would have corrected some of the wrong. And so that's why I endorsed Weah for the second round. And sure enough, Mr. Bouaka has proven me right that he doesn't have the stamina, and maybe some of the statements being attributed to him is as a result of cognitive frailty. Mentally he's declining now. Some people, metaphorically speaking, say he can't even identify his own hands nowadays. So the cognitive frailty is there. In many of these advanced societies, when you see people in age 80, public regulation will encourage some of them to not actively drive. Why do you think they do it that way? Some people reach 80, they tell you you can't cook anymore. Why do you think they put those restrictions? Because cognitively you're not active. You know what I mean? So Bouaka is in that state. He's in that state now, and he's making all these blunders. Having all these terrible things he's saying in public, and people try to spin them. Look, I think the Liberian people made a big mistake, and those who inflicted it. Oh yes, Bouaka. I mean, the thing is, and the Boedu thing is important because Bouaka originally comes from Boedu, and it is the Kisi from Boedu that I told you they are unforgiving. If you see Bouaka going to Sierra Leone and to Guinea, in fact, he's actively working with the Kisi element in the Guinean military. Those are the people that he may be using, God forbid, to be part of his death squad that he will be organizing soon. Because he's averse to critical view. People who are critical of Mr. Bouaka, he can knock over. I swear you will never wear in my government alive. And the government not your private property. It's not your private estate, Bouaka. They be knocking on who you will never wear in my government. Meanwhile, you violating the law to give soulless stooges government job. Bouaka violated the constitution to give Patrick Hunter a soulless sycophant, a soulless stooge, a big government job, and today Patrick Hunter is a disgrace. So I want to thank you for having me. I want to thank our people for listening. Mr. Bouaka has placed our country in handcuffs and he's dragging it to hell, and we need to stand up. I think he should not be given any chance to deliver any sooner. The people should mobilize and protest against him giving any sooner. He's not in any position to give any sooner. Let the people organize, let them protest. Protest is provided for in Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution. The budget he submitted, they didn't meet minimum standard, is controversial. He submitted it to Kun in contrary to the Supreme Court opinion. People should protest. Let's give Bouaka the run for his money.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, folks,
thank you very much.
That's how we draw the curtains. Thank you. We'll be back tomorrow by the grace of God. We'll move with more conversation here as you guys already know. Thank you. Let's have a good day. Happy belated Christmas to all of you. I don't know if we can even say that, but hey, I think I can say that. Good night.
There are things we can do. We bring in good news and we give it to you. We judge it for podcast and connecting people and culture from here and up out of the globe. There are things we can do. We